with the shock of seeing David Bubbles Jackson standing outside Stella's door. CJ and I had been stationed with Bubbles years ago. I hadn't seen him in a long time. Stella's door jerked open. Stella looked from Bubbles to me and didn't look surprised to see either of us, which surprised me. Stella wore a slinky silk robe of the palest green. It set off her olive Mediterranean skin and deep green eyes. Her hair was messy and her skin a bit flushed. It took me only a couple of seconds longer to put two and two together, or, in this case, one and one. "You know Bubbles?" I asked Stella. "Bubbles?" Stella widened her eyes. I gestured up and down at Bubbles as much as I could, despite having the map tucked under my arm and carrying my purse and jacket. "It's my call sign," Bubbles said. He had deep brown eyes that always showed his emotions and dark lashes that framed them. Right now, they sparkled with fun and satisfaction. Stella looked mystified. "It's a nickname," Bubbles said, "from the Air Force." I snorted. "That's a bit of an understatement." I looked at Stella. "It has something to do with an incident in a swimming pool and a bit of gas." Stella glanced between us, as if trying to decide if this was a joke. "I know, it's a bit gross," I said. "CJ's call sign is Hooker. His last name sufficed as a joke." Until CJ had retired last year, he'd served for 20 years in the Air Force with the security forces. Bubbles grinned. "Sarah, why are you lurking around on the steps?" "I live upstairs. Stella's my landlady." "When Stella told me she had a pain-in-the-neck tenant upstairs, I never dreamed it would be you. Small world, huh?" Stella opened her mouth to protest. Bubbles winked at her as he hugged me, enveloping me in his arms for a brief second. Then he held me away from him. "You look great." I had to agree. I looked pretty darn cute this morning in my favorite jeans tucked into boots I'd probably later regret wearing and a long-sleeved sky blue V-necked t-shirt. Even my blondish hair cooperated, swinging sleekly just below my shoulders. I'd managed not to stick the mascara wand in my eye, quite an accomplishment at 6 a.m. Or, really, any time of the day for me. "You're looking good yourself," I said. "But what are you doing here?" "Leaving," he said. "I don't mean here in the foyer. That seems pretty obvious. I mean in Ellington," I said. "I got stationed at Fitch a few months ago." Fitch was the Air Force base bordered by Ellington, Bedford, Concord, Lexington, and Lincoln. CJ and I had lived there for 2 years. Last December, he'd been getting ready to retire and take over as Ellington's chief of police when a young enlisted troop member falsely accused him of having an affair with her. The accusation led to CJ retiring quickly and to our divorce. "We met at karaoke. At Gilgannon's," Stella said before I could ask. Not that I would have in front of Bubbles. Gilgannon's was an Irish pub close to the base. Not only was Stella my landlady, but we were both in our late 30s and about 5'6", and we were becoming friends. "I've got to run." I held up my map, purse, and jacket. The earpiece and mic dangled from my fingers. At least we didn't wake up the Callahans, who lived across the hall from Stella. They must have taken their hearing aids out. Bubbles brushed a kiss across my cheek, laid one on Stella, and walked out with me. Bubbles and I parted ways on the wide porch. He climbed in a dirty old beater of a pickup truck and left with a wave. I took a moment to look over the town common's wide expanse of lawn. It was broken by a long sidewalk that meandered the city block from the Congregational Church on one end of the common to Great Road on the other. The town common was a hub of activity for Ellington. The Apple Festival in September, an ice rink in the winter, and my favorite event in the spring, prom stroll, when most of the townspeople lined the sidewalk as each couple attending prom was announced and paraded their sparkling dresses and sleek tuxes as photos were snapped and people applauded. For the moment, all was still as the sky lightened. The sun would rise in about 15 minutes. I breathed in the crisp fall air, tinged with the scent of fallen leaves.